No, she's not commenting. She was just testing her screen.
Yes, I know. I'm just asking if there is any other thing that should be shared aside this, or we should leave this for now.
No. There's nothing to be shared. We can stop sharing her screen for now, and then we just have you on.
Okay.
Then she will come on when she comes.
I'm just asking. Your
YouTube.
sound is breaking, ma. I can't hear you from here.
Who is sharing this?
Okay, I'm the one sharing it. I can take it down.
No, this is fine. This is appropriate. This is fine.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So this copy. All right. So we'll start having the students come in shortly.
Okay, sir. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for the training. The training commences at exactly 4 p.m. So please stay with us. You're welcome. Okay, welcome our dear participants to the second edition of our training on World Food Safety Commemoration Day project. And the theme for this year's training is Farm Food Safety Compliance Training. You are welcome. Thank you for staying with us. This is the second edition. And this training is brought to you by GSAI, Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative. Please kindly confirm if you can hear me before we proceed. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Halidu, for that confirmation. So my name is Charity Ibrahim, and I'll be the moderator for today's training. So Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative is an NGO registered in Nigeria, and they are committed to catalyzing positive change in the agricultural sector. So what we do at Growth for Sustainable Agriculture is to empower smallholder farmers and encourage them to farm sustainably. So this afternoon, we have with us our amiable facilitator, Olayinka Deborah O, who will be guiding us through the training today titled Food Safety Standards and Regulation. We all know that you're welcome, everybody, and I'm happy to see you all. Thank you. So we all know that for different environmental activities, there are standards and regulations guiding them. Like for mining sector, there are standards and regulation. For transportation and different kind of construction sector and all of that, there are standards and regulations guiding them. Also for agricultural sector, especially as it relates to the food we consume on a daily basis, there are also standards and regulations that are guiding them. Without wasting much of our time, this afternoon, I would like us to dive in straight to today's training. But before then, if you have any question as the trainer comments, please kindly drop your questions in the chat box. Also, this training is going to be streamed on YouTube. My colleague Gabriel will be there to pick all the questions that will be dropped there. So those on YouTube can as well drop their questions. And ensure you are looking sharp and good, because at the end of this training this afternoon, we'll be taking a group photo. So stay with us. Like I said earlier, we have our facilitator, Olayinka Deborah. She's a training facilitator for Soilless Farm Lab, and she'll be guiding us through the training this afternoon titled Food Safety Standards and Regulations. Ma'am Deborah, if you can hear me, we would like to have your training now.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you so much. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I appreciate everyone for taking time to be available. And for our audience on YouTube, thank you so much. We are so grateful to have you on this platform to learn. To learn, it's a thing to grow. It's another thing to be interested in how to grow it well. And that is why we are all here, I believe. We are here to understand and learn how food should be grown in the right way, beyond knowing how to grow a maize from seed to harvest. How can this maize come out well such that I don't end up eating it and then start purging? How do I grow my beans from seed to harvest and I don't end up with another form of issue? Can we hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Kindly proceed, ma.
Oh, okay. So I would not want to waste so much of our time. I would go into the topic, and then I'll share my screen so that we can see. Please let's confirm if we can see my screen. Can we see my screen now? Can we see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. You can proceed. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. So this evening we'll be talking about food safety standards and regulation. When you hear food safety standard, I know we started with the introduction on food safety, and what we basically discussed was how to grow food, that the food does not have any form of foreign material or pose any risk to those eating it. And in continuation of that, we're going to consider the guidelines, the things expected of us to do as farmers in all sphere that we are finding ourselves, either livestock farmers, either crop farmers, in any sphere we find ourselves, how to do these things, what is expected of us to do at the point or the other. So the first thing I would be discussing here is the overview of the food safety regulation for national and for international body. So we have regulation in Nigeria that guides how we grow food process in Nigeria, how we transport it, how we process it, how we handle it, how we package it, that it does not pose risk at all. Even for meat, how meat should be packaged, how grains, legumes, tubers, how they should be packaged, how they should be transported, how they should be stored, that it would come out well in quality, and then you don't end up with loss on the other hand. We want to store and then store for a while because we could not sell at a goal. So how to keep them in the storage and such that they are not storing with terrible chemicals. We have heard scenarios. That people store different kind of food with terrible chemicals, ranging from sniper to ambad to all of those things. We have scenarios of that according to research, and they still exist. I know the goal is not that they want to poison me. The goal is to keep the food longer in the store so that it doesn't get spoiled. And then in turn, our consumer can buy what does not have insects. That is the goal. But the goal is not getting met. If after storing it in this way that we think is right, and then our consumers are landing with all form of food-borne illness, so that means our goals are not being achieved. So we have international bodies that are responsible for putting our food safety in check, and we have national bodies that are also responsible for keeping them in check. So we have, for Nigeria, we have NAFDAC, we have NAFDAC. I know most of us know NAFDAC because that's like the common one. They are the ones responsible for checking food, basically packaged food, to see the shelf life, how long does it have to last on the field, how long does it have to be in shelf. It is NAFDAC that will do publicity to say, don't buy anything that does not have expiry date. Yes, it's NAFDAC. They will do such publicity because it's part of their responsibility to see to packaged products, how they should be done. You don't just package because you love a particular package, because you think it's right. You do it rightly. So this body is responsible for overseeing these things, and that is what NAFDAC is for. We have SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, which under it we have markup. I know most of us see markup on our water, we see markup on our biscuits, we see markup that has like this. We see them a lot. And then we have NAC. Sometimes I'm not sure it's everybody there. If you have made an attempt, or if you've exported at a point or the other, you will be familiar with NAC, the quarantine service for Nigeria. Familiar with them. They are responsible for checking produce for pest and disease before you take them out. And therefore, international body then is a large system. It is dependent on the audience. You don't just say, oh, this is the body that I want. This is the certification body that should work with me in my farm. You will first confirm who are the people I want to sell to. Who are my audience? It is your audience that will determine the kind of standard you want to implement. Now, beyond others, we are going to consider the general thing that is expected for everybody, irrespective of your audience. Either your audience are Muslims, either your audience are traditional worshippers, or they are Christians. Because I'm saying it's religious based because we have requirements for, especially Muslim audience. We have requirements for them. if you want to sell to an Islamic audience, there are ways you have to prepare your farm. There are ways you have to prepare your food. It is very, very important. But even though you don't have all of these things, you just want to sell generally. You just want to have a standard or a basic certification. This training will take you to the basic you should understand. So with that, we'll move to the next one, which is going to speak about first, the Nigeria regulatory body. I remember the other time I mentioned NAFDAC. I said NAFDAC is responsible for our packaged products, right? Then we have standard organization products. We have Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. They are responsible for putting trainings in place. I know most states do these things. They do something around youth empowerment, agricultural products. It is this Ministry of Agric. It is part of, because training is needed. Training is required for you to have understanding. If you don't know a thing, you cannot put it to practice. If you don't know a thing, you cannot implement what you don't know. So this training must be put in place with the body or the organization or the regulatory agency responsible for handling that is our Ministry of Agri in our local government, in our states and all of that. They are the ones that would put that in place. And then we have Oh, I heard my voice is low. Okay, I'm so sorry. I will make it loud. Is it better now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly and loud, ma. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, as I was saying, I'm so sorry about that. So we have another body called NESRIA. NESRIA is National Environmental Standard for Regulatory and Enforcement Agency. They are the ones responsible for environmental factors. So there's this thing in food safety that we say that food production should be safe for the farmer, should be safe for the environment, should be safe for the farmer, should be safe for the environment, and also should be safe for the consumer. So if these three things are not in place, then we are not producing it the right way. If an example, let me give us an example. If I know we are having this common issue right now in the whole sector, which is climate change. And one of the things that we are doing in agric that is contributing to that is indiscriminate burning, indiscriminate we are just burning. We don't have carbon line. We don't have places designated for our plants. We are bringing down urbanization. Urbanization is a problem. We're bringing down trees to grow. We are not raising more trees. All of these things are contributing to the climate change we have. And so because of that, a body is in place to make sure that production process does not pose risk to our environment, irrespective of the food, no matter how good the food is. Please don't take away our trees. You're taking down trees. What is your plan? It is called conservation plan. What is the conservation plan that we have? That as you are taking down this tree, how do you plan to raise more? What is the plan that you have? We're not saying you should not, you know you want to take it down. What other plans do you have to make it better? So we see that most areas, there are only buildings, no greens, nothing. All the carbon is getting stuck in buildings instead of a cycle that is meant to continue in trees. It's getting stuck in blocks and bricks. And because of that, we're having heat, radiation. It's just coming, nothing, depleting of ozone layer. It's just coming upon us. So the essence or the responsibility of NESRIA is to see that we are not using chemicals. We are not doing activities that is posing risk to our environment. Do we understand? And then we will move to NAC. NAC is Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service. So if you want to export, you would have to go through NAC because they would check if there is presence of pests and disease. And the whole process takes a whole lot. It's a whole lot of process to check for pest and disease. That means you have to go through audits. They would do a facility check. They will come to your farm. Yes, that is your facility check. They will come to your farm to check what your farm, the situation of your farm, your production situation. And when they check, they will check the kind of chemicals you have. There is something called banned chemicals, chemicals that are not allowed to be used. And there are many reasons why these chemicals are not allowed to be used. An example is, if you, I have a friend that went to a particular farm for audit. And then because of the visits, they were spraying a particular chemical. And after inhaling this chemical, my friend started having lung issue. And for some weird reason, after different tests, that question, where did you go? What did you do? And all of that, we had to connect it to the, oh, this person went to this particular place. And then because of that, person became asthmatic till now. Person has to assist the airways with inhaler. If the person had never visited the farm, this would have not happened. And extensively, if the farm had not applied such chemical, this will not happen. It means there are chemicals that should not be used. We have a long list, in fact, and the good part of this is they are available online. There are resources that are available. Just check on Google, banned chemicals in Nigeria by the regulatory, based on the regulatory body you are working with. Although, depends on the regulatory body. For NAC, NAC has a list of their own banned chemical. Then if you are trying to do another certification, say like ISO, you are trying to do global gap, you would have to generate banned chemical under that agency. So you would check a list. We have long list of them. And the reason why these chemicals are banned is because they pose risk to our health. I know they will kill the pests, but in the long run, they don't get exhausted. An example is they have very long post-harvest interval, or pre-harvest interval rather. They would have like 2 months and farmers would not want to wait for 2 months, except you can wait for that 2 months to be used up in the production process. But if you would not wait, don't use them. If the pre-harvest interval, if the PHI is more than 1 week, if it's extending into 2 weeks, and you know we don't have that, your production cycle. The example is you have, say, white fly, and you are trying to use imifos or imidacloprid or something, and because of white fly, and then you are at harvest it already, your plants are fruiting, they are even ripening already. They are very, very close to harvest. You cannot leave them for 2 weeks. You have to be very sincere with yourself. The duration is, the PHI for imidacloprid is like 7 days. If you cannot wait for that 7 days, then don't apply it. Don't stay tuned to neem oil. Else, if we harvest it like that, and let me correct a misconception with pre-harvest interval. Pre-harvest interval does not mean we should harvest it from the tree and keep it, or from the plant and keep it in the store to say, oh, I will not sell this particular product until it's after 7 days. No, you would leave it on the plant for that 7 days. If the pre-harvest interval is 7 days, you leave it on the plant for the 7 days to be exhausted. And after 7 days, it is believed that the residual level has been greatly reduced to a minimal level that it will not pose risk to anybody's health. It will not lead to any form of health issue if it is being ingested, because this chemical will leave a residue in the crop. That is why we say that if you would not wait, don't use it. If you would not wait, don't use it. If you know you have an urgent customer to attend to, don't apply it at all. Just harvest it the way they are and deliver it to your customer. If not, don't just bother to harvest it at all. Don't bother to apply the chemicals at all, because we are doing more harm than good. According to statistics, we have over millions of people in our health centers because as a result of foodborne illness. Most of the situation we have in that hospital is because of the problem that farmers has caused. And the truth is, it was not intentional. I mean, nobody would mean to harm each other, except it was a biological weapon. And I believe farmers just grow for profit. They don't grow to kill anybody. So because it's not a biological weapon, we have to be careful. How do this thing become a biological weapon? If we are not careful, we are killing ourselves. How do we explain this? That because I don't want pests, I don't want being beetle in my beans. I am pouring sniper in the beans to kill the beans, to kill the insects. So that's why sometimes I say when you go to market, it becomes questionable. When I keep beans for 2 months and I'm not seeing insects at all, it becomes questionable. When I'm keeping beans for 6 months and I'm not seeing and I'm not having a sight of insects in my beans, something is wrong somewhere. Every good food will spoil. In fact, must spoil. If it is not getting spoiled, it is not food. Something is inside that is injuring. And if insects, something as minute as insects, cannot survive in that food, why do you think because we think we are like bigger animals, or how do we call ourselves, means we would survive it? No, we will not survive it either. It's just keeping it somewhere in our system. So we should pay keen attention. In fact, especially to chemical use, because I know we are basically doing more of open field, and we also want to control pests. So my advice basically is that we can apply them in the early stage of production before fruiting, before flowering itself, so that they would have taken their time to wear out completely, and even extra days are on it. If not, don't even bother to use it. There are chemicals that their residue lead to brain damage, their residue are cancerous, their residue lead to a lot of organ damage. We don't know this, we know this, and some of us know, some of us don't know. And I don't know, I just want us to know that the essence of getting this class is to stop doing it. Stop doing it. So I would then go to the basic guidelines, the requirements. Yes, the compliance requirements for exporting produce. This requirement is general, irrespective of your audience. It does not matter if you're selling to Europe, you're selling to US, you are selling to UAE, it doesn't matter. All of these things should be done. It's just expected it's a standard that we should have implemented a very long time ago. But it's good that we have GSAI that is bringing this on board for us to learn and to grow better. We are grateful for GSAI. So the first is support programs, trainings. Training like this, like GSAI is organizing, should be made available intensively if you are ready to collect certification, or if you are ready to use it for a certification. It's going to be intensive. You have to then train either yourself, or you have a team that is responsible for the implementation of standards or implementation of anything on your farm. Those people, if you are not readily available on your farm, maybe your farm manager, they are the ones handling it for you. They have to get trained. They have to be taught how to do things, how to spray, how to do many things. They have to know. If they are not taught, they will do it the wrong way, and we will not blame them for it. Then another thing we have is cleaning, packaging, and storage. How to clean, how to package, and how to store. So first thing is how to clean our surfaces. We want to clean, we want to wash our knapsack, we want to wash our scissors we use in harvesting, the knives we use in harvesting our vegetables. What else do we use? We are cleaning the floor for the place we used to sort. We pour produce on table. We pour produce on the. How do you even clean those places? There's something called food. There's something called food grade. Food grade. It is written on these packages. If you want to buy a soap, if the soap is not food grade, or the detergent, or the any reagent you are using to clean, or disinfectant, if it's not a food grade means you can ingest the residue and it will not cause harm to your system. That is why it is advised that most people use liquid soap to wash their plates, because especially those that has been tested, liquid soap has been tested to say it is food grade. So when you want to clean surfaces, you use food grade reagents. If you don't use food grade reagents, it means you are leaving your surfaces with residues that can incur more problems. So we should use even our packaging. I know I see it a lot on foils. I see it a lot on all this cringe wrap. I see it a lot on their nylons. There are some nylons that they write food grade. It means if it stays in the nylon, that's why if you have to buy a nylon from an organization that can be responsible, yes, or that can be held responsible for their actions, it means they know what they are doing. You can hold them responsible. They will pay attention to what they are selling to you, not just randomly. Oh, I know somebody that does this, let me just buy from the person. Food safety is beyond patronizing friends and family. What we are after is safety. If that friend and family is not interested in implementing standard, I am sorry, we are not going to patronize that friend and family. Except standards are being implemented, we should not use such. And then store produce in cool, dry places to avoid rot and contamination. Now, let me speak about contamination. In contamination, this would make sense when when somebody has gone through this process. So I would try to break it down to the minimal level that you understand. So when you bring in a produce in crates or maybe in baskets, before sorting, harvested inside that basket, you harvested. After harvesting, you did the sorting to say, oh, this is the one I will sell. This one is good. This one is not good. After the several stress, we now picked that same basket. We poured the ones we have sorted inside the basket or the crate. What did we think we have done? We have just performed something called cross-contamination. We have contaminated the plants through our container. So it is expected that we don't just, so cleaning, that's why they're in the same group. Cleaning should be done like, they are 5 and 6. If you know you want to use that same basket, wash the basket immediately. Use a clean towel or a clean cotton material. Clean it up and then pour the produce inside again. With that, we know we are safe to say, to the way we can control. We have been able to clean this surface. Else, you don't want to do the same thing. The same hand you use to sort. When you want to package, you have to wash your hand before you package. Washing is the basic thing in safety, and it saves a lot if we pay keen attention to it. Remember when we had coronavirus? The basic thing that we're told to do that time is we should always wash our hands, and we're always washing our hands. It's not because there was a time someone was saying that, so because I'm washing my hands, does that mean I would not have coronavirus? It's just reducing the contamination in the air. You are shaking people, collecting money, doing this, doing that. If you are washing your hand at time, it's reducing germs we are transmitting. And that is the goal of this same cleaning. We have to keep cleaning. In fact, a food production area or a food processing area should always be clean. Thank God we see it in restaurants. The way they come around to sweep, like a lot of time. When they are done, they will sweep it again. You enter, they swept before you enter. While you are still there, you take longer time. They will still sweep before you leave that place. It's expected. It's a standard that cannot be that cannot go out of date. We have to keep doing it. And another thing we have for number 3 is pest control. Use only approved pesticide with correct amount. The same way we have drug abuse in human, it's the same way we have it in plants. So because we entered our house and we saw trips, trips has want to finish this plant. Trips has want to finish our pepper. Oh, trips has want to finish this bell pepper. So we decided to carry bunch amount. The prescribed amount is 40 ml to 15 liter of water. But no, you said the way I'm looking at this thing is too intense. But I think 80 ml will be fine. You're abusing it. And the bad part is you are increasing the level of residue. Even that PHI will not work again because it needs to take longer time. So we need to pay keen attention, especially when we have someone that is technically responsible for the decision we make for our pest control. We need to listen to that person. I know you are the one seeing the plan, but we need to listen. The person is technically responsible for a reason. So we need to listen to the person. Another thing is the use of PPE while spraying. PPE is personal protective equipment. Personal protective equipment. These equipment are used to cover. I don't want to say protect. I mean, so to cover ourselves or shield ourselves from external things. This equipment is expected, especially I'm going to list the kind of, we have different kind of equipment with respect to the kind of activity. The PPE required for construction, it's not the one required for spraying. The one required for plumbing is not the one required for agronomy activities, some agronomic activities. The one required for agronomy is not the one required for processing. So I'll mention the one for pest control first. So when you want to spray, we must wear a waterproof clothing. We have something called raincoat. It has to be an overall it has to cover you from your head to your feet. Not your toe. You cannot cover it to your toe, but your feet. It has to be long. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Thank you.
Okay. So we have to wear a waterproof clothing. And this waterproof clothing is like raincoats. We can get it anyway. But I would advise the one that is reusable, not that one that is sold under the rain. Not those ones that are very, very light. I would not advise that we get that one. That one will say after a use, through usage, they are gone. You will not be able to use them again because they are very light. They are very, very light. You cannot, they are not durable. Yes, that's the word. They are not durable. So there are thicker ones. I don't know. I've seen being sold in a couple of places. So we can just go there. Even this, what is it called? These people selling building materials. I think they sell it too. Those people selling reflective jackets. Yes, they sell those thick ones. All those people selling helmets, reflective jackets. They sell the thick ones. So when you buy it, you would then buy a boot. You would then buy a boot. We know jungle boots now, those rubber boots. We need a rubber boot. Then we know NEPA gloves. That NEPA gloves, those gloves, but it doesn't have to be thick. There are ones that they are not as thick as NEPA gloves. They're not as thick as NEPA gloves. So that one is what you need. You need an hand glove. And then we need goggles to shield our eyes. If you cannot shield our face, if you cannot use goggles, we know there's this face shield. You can get a face shield. And then we have to protect our nose. because of what we inhale. So when we are inhaling these things, it is expected that we wear a, what is it called, respirator. It's expected that we wear a respirator. It's not nose mask, but to on a lighter one, it might not be there are nose masks that are breathable. They have valves. They have valve that can make it breathable. If you can get those ones that are reusable, that one can work as long as it is going to protect your nose properly. But no nose mask. Nose mask, you can still perceive things that are outside, even with a general nose mask, but not all those ones that have a valve. Those ones that have valve, you will not be able to perceive something outside. It's just within the mask. So we can get that. So we're expected to put all of them on. You wear your glove, wear your protective clothing, which is your waterproof outfit. You wear your boot, your glove, and then a face shield or goggle, and then nose mask. The essence of these things is to protect our body. Because when this chemical, when our body comes in contact with them, they go into our bloodstream. And then over time, if you keep doing it, see, we can run a statistics of farmers that has been spraying without protective equipment. And let's see what happens in the later days of their age. It is not an easy thing. Everybody is just trying to make ends meet. Some, it's because they did not know. It's not as if they were trying to be stubborn. It's just not knowing. So it's not their fault. However, ignorance would not take away the repercussion of what is being done. So we're expected to be properly covered. Even when we buy our chemicals, these requirements, they're always on it. You will see hand glove, you will see clothes, we see eyes, we see goggle, you will see respirator on the chemicals. It means you are expected to wear them. It means you're expected to use them when we are spraying. It's very, very important. That is the PPE that's expected during training. Then another thing is record keeping. There is this saying in food safety that if it is not recorded, it never happened. If it is not recorded, it never happened. How do I know that you have sprayed in your farm if you don't have a record to prove it? Oh, I'm asking you that, maybe you consulted an agronomist to say, oh, I'm having this on my farm, I don't know what is going on. And the person is saying, oh, can I see your record? He said, no, I don't have a record, oh, but I know what I've sprayed. Last week, I sprayed lambda. Last 2 weeks, I sprayed carrot. I cannot be sure. Even me as a consultant, I will not pay so much attention because I'll be like, what if? So if I'm asking you, what time did you spray it? You're like, it'll be like saying in the morning, maybe on Wednesday. Even when you are sure, there is this saying that a fainted pen is better than the brightest memory or the lasted memory or something. I can't remember how it's been put. So it is expected that you put it into writing, either maybe by soft copy or an hard copy, anyone. Just have it written somewhere that on this day I transplanted so amount of maize, I transplanted so amount of rice, and amount of yam, amount of pepper, tomatoes. We have to have it written. How many did you transplant? How many is thriving right now? When you transplanted, did you use nutrients? Write it. What kind of nutrients did you use? What time did you apply the nutrients? Did you spray? Write it. What did you spray? It's very, very important because it is this detail that will help to even know how to do things extensively. When you are trying to attain a certification, no certification can be done without documentation. Documentation is required for any form of certification. It is expected that you have a record, either hard copy certification, hard copy documents, or soft copy documents. You can either have them printed or something, or written by your hand. It doesn't have to be very sophisticated. You can just get an hard copy book always write like whatever you are doing. How often do you water? How often do you pump your water into the tank? I pump 2 times a week. I'm using so you write the quantity of tank you are using. If you pump once, how long does it take to exhaust that quantity of water? It is expected to mention them in your record. It is very, very important. It has to be detailed. You don't want to leave any information out. So I'm saying, especially when you want to take a certification, because certifications require, in fact, document is everything in certification. Before you even if you have everything implemented, I mean, they say, oh, you must always wear PPE, you must always do this, and you people are doing everything on your farm, and yet there's no record to say, oh, the day we bought this, we bought it like this. There's no record to defend how it was bought, where it was gotten from. Certifications will not take it. Documentation is very, very, very important in all form of certification. It's very important. Another thing is personal hygiene and calibration. Personal hygiene. A clear instruction on personal hygiene practice should be provided. The farmers, like I said, food production should be safe for the farmer, to the environment, and also for the consumer. So because it's personal hygiene, it is for the farmer. It is for the health of the farmer. In fact, most of the things I've been saying, if you notice, it's for the health of the farmer. Pest control that we're saying we should wear PPE. It's for us. If you wear PPE, if you did not wear PPE, sometimes I tell my people, I say, is your blood and this chemical, are they compatible? If they're not compatible, then don't spray without PPE. The way we give alarm for people, you will think somebody is trying to commit suicide, but in the real sense, it's kind of a bit of suicide because you're trying to kill yourself gradually. So when you see somebody that make a noise or make alarm. So the same thing with personal hygiene. Bathe regularly, take your baths, wear neat clothing, and all of that. The farmer should take care of themselves. It's important in food safety. The farmer has to be well. It is important. And another thing is calibration. Calibration is a system that validates that our measurements or our equipment are correct. If we say, have we faced this situation before, that you will buy 1 kg of chicken and you will find out that 1 kg is not 1 kg in. It's not up to 1 kg. It's called food fraud, actually. It's called food fraud. But the only thing that might be responsible, if it's not an intentional act, that might be responsible is that scale was not calibrated. This scale is, when a scale is calibrated, it is to say that, to validate or to be sure that the 1 kg that is showing on this screen or that is showing on these readings, on these metrics of this equipment is sure that is this correct measurement. You don't want to sell it to your customer and the customer is saying, uncle, auntie, what sold to me is not complete. Oh, I said I wanted 10 kg, but you're selling, but you sent 9 kg or you sent 8 kg. It's not your fault because you saw 10 kg when you were trying to package. So this kind of thing would be calibration issue. So every equipment that is required, that is used, should be calibrated regularly. You can reach out to all these equipment organizations. They will calibrate it for you. And even when they calibrate, it's like I don't know how to say this thing. It's like subscription. It has expiry dates. It will have expiry dates. So when you are done calibrating, to tell you the next time you are going to calibrate as well. So before you come to the end of that next time, say a month or 2 months, so that time you can start reaching out to the organization. If the organization is a very busy one, you can start working on it 3 months to the end of your next calibration. Oh, we need to calibrate our equipment again. So calibration is very, very, very important. And so the last thing on our compliance requirements is inspection. Inspection can be done in 2 ways. When you have a team, you can understand, when you understand the standard yourself, you can put what is it called now? You can put a system in place to do a check like a checklist. Yes, that's the word. So I have a checklist to say, oh, every 6 months, I'll be checking my own farm myself. That is what is called internal audit. You will check your farm yourself, or maybe someone that you can be accountable to comes around to say, oh, this is what is expected to be done. Are you doing it? You are expected to have a PPE in place when you are sorting or spraying. Are you really doing it? Check. Do you have a document to defend that what you bought is not from a government reserved area? It's another, that's what I just said now, is another conversation. Let's not go there. Then another thing to say, are we bringing foreign products into this place that is not allowed? No, we are not. What is not? All those checklists. You will just have a checklist of what should be done. Did you say you always clean every morning? Where's documents that defend that you clean something as simple as cleaning? You have to have a cleaning log. I know when we go to restaurants, at the back of their toilet door like this, we will see logs. Titi cleaned kitchen, cleaned common room, cleaned lounge, cleaned. They will just stick it, and then you see the name of the supervisor. Then they will sign. That's a cleaning log. Something as simple as that. The cleaning log. You need a cleaning log. So all those things. Someone comes around, check it extensively, or no, extensively. When you want to go into certification, you will need a certification body to come around to do an external audit for you. And this external audit is a checklist too, to say, oh, this is the standard. You would have known ahead, though. It's not like they would just come to you and say you would know ahead. They would have given you the standard that is required to put in place. And then after you are done implementing them, you call for them to come and confirm if what they have done is what you have done is correct. And then they will check if it's really, really correct or something. Tell them you are ready, you have implemented it, give you certificates, and then we are good to go. Now let's move to how to get certified. So like I said the other time, the first thing in any process is training like this. But for certification, it has to be intensive. It has to be with all form of rapt attention, to say your participants are committed to getting trained for this purpose. So you have to get trained. The next thing is implementing the standard. So I wrote, there's a note underneath. Let's read it. Certification to be acquired is dependent on the target market. So like I said the other time, I said it depends on your audience. That would determine the kind of standard you want to implement. So an example is, if you are trying to export to an Islamic audience like UAE, to any Islamic audience, you must get a certification called halal. Halal is to prove that, is to validate that your production process does not pose risk to Muslim audience. To every committed Muslim in the house, if you want to buy anything, check the back. If you did not see halal there, I don't think you should be comfortable eating it. It is expected that it's because we don't really pay attention, but it's good that we are farmers here. Now that we are tuning to the era of our consumers, knowing that they need to start paying attention to their farmers, eyes will be on us. So we need to do what is right. If we are not doing what is right, people will call you out. They will say, oh, I bought this thing from you. I discovered it's not right. I discovered this thing happened to me. This thing, that. So the standard to be implemented is dependent on our markets. If it's to European countries, then you need to get global GAP, global good agricultural practice. Then for the farm system management structure. You need ISO 22,000. So 22,000 is a farm safety management system that validates that your process is has quality. Yes, it's for the quality of your produce. It is important, like I said, depends on your audience. And HACCP, hazard analysis and critical control points, is the basic of all. If you want to export to any no matter how small the country is, and it's going to go through NAC, even NAC will ask you for your hazard analysis breakdown or assessment. So even if you have to get HACCP, HACCP is the basic of all, and it's easy. It's easier rather compared to others. Easier compared to others. So implementation of this standard has to be done if you have plan to export. We meet this certification body. They would tell you what to do. There are companies responsible for certifying this. If you don't know them, just meet with your consultants. Your consultants will tell you what to do. They will refer you. They will show you. They will hold your hand on how to do these things. And next is to get audited. So if you are trying to get halal and they say alcohol should not be used during your production process, it must not be used. If they say your equipment, or there must not be, what is it called now, pig. You know, pig is an Islamic religion taboo meat. Pig must not be found anywhere in your production sites, either alive or they are dead. It should not be found there. We are trying to get halal. We're trying to get global gap is even bigger. Let's just stick with HACCP and halal. That we would easily understand amongst ourselves. So you get audited. So when your auditors come around, they will check. Like I said, documents. They will request for your documents breakdown to say, oh, do you have this? Do you have this? Are you really doing it? Oh, let us check your process. Oh, you say after you harvest, you used to sort. They will come and check. They will make sure that the audit, for your audit process, you will harvest that day before them. You will harvest and sort before them. If you miss the process, if the process is against what is in your document, is a flag, it's a red flag. To not be accepted. And after your audit, either internal and extensively external, after your audit, the organization would then certify you if you pass. If you pass the audit, to give you your certificate. But most certificates, yes, most of the ones I've seen requires to be surveillance audits every year. It means even if the expiry date of your certificate, you got, is 5 years time, like your certificate will not expire until 5 years, you have to do an audit every year to be sure that you have not forgotten, because we know ourselves now. We can be serious for a particular goal, and then when we have gotten the goal, we forget that we need to put something in place again. So that is the essence of surveillance audit, that you don't forget. It becomes a culture. You continue to do it, and they keep coming to check if you are really doing it. If you fail in doing them, your certificate can be withdrawn, even though it has not expired. Your certificate can be withdrawn from being used, even though it does not expire, because this standard must be implemented. They must stay like that. Don't say because we are not expecting our certificate is still next 5 years, we'll go and relax, we'll not keep document again, we'll not do anything again. So till then, you will not pay attention to anything. It should not be done. So if you need to renew certificates, because they will validate it after every surveillance audit. They will validate that we have come again this year to check this facility, and they are still complying. They are still complying. Are we with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Are we getting it? I hope we are understanding. Okay. So then, to the benefits of certification. I believe we know that this thing is, you can imagine kind of markets you would have access to if you have any of this certification. First is, if you have ASIP, you sell to the bigger people. Let's start with Nigeria. Let's not even go to export. You start selling to the bigger people if you have ASIP. Now imagine if you want to export and you have a lab, you have a NAC validated you can export. You have halal to the Muslim audience. NAC has given you certification to take it out to maybe African countries. Then to US, you will need to get their food safety management certification. You are going to export to US. All of these things, it just gives you access to a bigger market. And with a bigger market, you cannot use money to do all this standard and you'll be selling the same amount with everybody in Ojaba. No. You're going to sell at a better price, and you have bigger buyers. Another thing is increased trust from local and foreign buyers. I personally love it when I buy something and then I check the back of the sachet or the package and I see that, oh, they are certified in this. I feel like, oh, thank God, I can eat with peace. If you like, you can trust them, you can easily go back to it. There was a particular product that I bought. I can't remember. I think it was a tomato paste or so. They didn't really have some certification, even as the smallest I was expecting them to have, even in Nigeria. As nice as it tasted, I'm not going to go back there because they don't have the basic ones I'm even expecting. Something as small as something as important, no, that's the word. Something as important as Standard Operating Organization of Nigeria. They don't have it, and it's not easy for me to go back. If I can find it, that I can sit back and say, why not? Why not buy from them? It gives you confidence. You can go to sleep knowing that what you're eating is right. Another thing is better farm practices that improves health and productivity. If you have certifications, of course, you will speak about it. It helps your process. Your process validates that you cannot impose you cannot impose risk to our health. We are sure that our health is protected. There is more income. Number 4, there is more income because certified produce usually sells at higher price. Yes, I said it earlier. They sell at higher price. If they are selling a kg of a general pepper of 500 naira, or what is it now? Say for 2,000 naira. If you are certified, you will sell your own for like 4,000 naira. Not because you are trying to hike it, but because the audience will pay for it, because they would understand. So most of these international markets, why people don't want to buy things from all these sophisticated brands is because they feel like they are expensive. And yes, it will be expensive. But do you know the standard that I'm trying to put in place so that this thing can be available, so that I can have a longer shelf life without the use of chemical that would destroy the health? So all of these things, they would be expensive. Let's stop complaining. And this thing is too expensive. You cannot buy it. Then you are subscribing to say that let everybody keep doing theirs. But that is another problem for another day, actually. There are some that they are overdoing theirs, we know. But really, if you have a proper certification, you cannot even say they are overdoing it, because if they have an audience that is selling it, that is buying it, good. As long as you have certification, you have the negotiation power to say, we can't sell for this amount. We have this standard in place. We are observing this. We are doing this. This is what it will take us to have delivered to you the best produce. So you can put a price on it. Do we understand? Are we with me?
We are with you, ma.
All right, thank you, ma. So I think my time is fast spent. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm even done. Oh, I'm done. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this eye-opening presentation. In fact, I have gained a lot. It's beyond the farming procedures or processes that we already have ideas of. And during the presentation, just a little bit of a recap. Our presenter talked about the standard that all farmers or producers should have or to comply with and regulations for their products. She talked about the NAFDAC, the SON, NACS, NESRIA, and the Ministry of Agriculture that deals on training of farmers as well as equipment issue. And she also talked about the mindfulness of the use of chemical, especially with the example of a colleague that had asthma today, or let me say that has asthma today as a result of visiting a farm facility. So it is good we take note of all of that. Chemical residues are dangerous, they are cancerous, lead to asthma, damage our organs, and all of that. Also, while she was still presenting, I was able to put down that consistent cleaning can prevent cross-contamination of farm produce. Thank you very much, ma'am. Most people don't really see that as a necessity as long as it has to do with farming. They believe it's a dirty job, but it's no longer like that in this age. So have a checklist that guides your routine, your safety routine, calibration, and all of that. You need certification, which is the last thing she was talking about before the end of her presentation. You need to get audited. If it's international, if you want to take your product internationally, we have the ISO 22000 that she mentioned, Farm Safety Management System, and the halal. Thank you very much, Ma. Without wasting much time, we'd like to just go straight to the question and answer session. Please, while we are taking the question, if you still have any question, kindly drop them in the chat box as I'll be reading them right away. So the first question we have is from Daniel Nkata. It says, please put, let me just, I don't understand the beginning, but it says, having enlightened on the need for food safety and standard regulation, I want to ask, what stages should I begin to introduce or bring in this food safety to his organization? I guess to his organization, at what stage should he introduce that? Also, he said, which one among all the lists is essential for inspection or standard in order for our products to be exported? Also, why is our products in Nigeria? Why is it that our products in Nigeria can't fly when some do all they could? So the second question from same person is, what is the role of Nigerian export promotion when it comes to exportation, and how can they be of help, let me see, to assist farmers? Please, I don't know if you got the question, ma, or I can read it again.
Yes, I did. The first thing is, what stage should it come in to implement the standard? The second one is, which of the listed guidelines is really required for audit? And I think the third one is, why are we not able to export even after doing everything?
Yes, please.
Am I right?
Yes, correct, ma.
All right. So thank you for the question. What stage do you have to come in to implement food safety? Every stage. In fact, the time is now, like right now. And you go back, let's start implementing standard. The simplest of all, let's start by washing our hands. Let's start by keeping record where you are at that point. What you could remember is that you just want to spray today. Start writing from that day. It's like right now, now is the time. There's no, you can anytime. If I say anytime, you can just say, oh, I will do it later. So that's why I'm not saying anytime. It is now. There is no particular stage restricted to it. The only thing that comes with certification is that you can have scope. You can have scope. Scope is jurisdiction to say, oh, I want to certify this particular process from this stage to this stage. An example is if you want to do HACCP. HACCP basically covers your harvest from your post-harvest handling, from harvest stage to how you sort it, how you package it, and how you deliver it. So that is like a scope. Then we have other ISO 22000 can cover from production, like from the day you are sowing the seeds like this to the end, to the harvest. They can cover such scope if you want them to cover that scope. So you can only have scope to say this is how far I want to go in maintaining the standard. That is the only thing. But what stage? There is no stage. You have to do everything. And which of these guidelines should you implement? Everything. Like I said they are basic. There are more things that will be required with respect to the certification you are trying to get. So it depends on your certification. That's what we say, oh, this is what I will then pay. This is what I will then do more. But all of these things is required. You have to keep your record, you have to clean, you have to calibrate, you have to get audited, you have to get trained. All the 6 things I mentioned has to be done. And why is Nigerian products not getting exported? Like I said, maybe we are doing everything we could, but we don't have record. Because there's no way you will get certified, or there's no way you will get audited, and they will see that you are maintaining standard, and they will not let you export. It's not possible. It is all we do is we try to use our mouth to say, I should be spraying once a week, and I'm spraying that once a week. And when they ask you for your record, you don't have something to back it. Like I said, if it is not recorded, it didn't happen, it didn't take place. But they will take you as though you are not serious. You're just using your mouth. We cannot trust the words of your mouth. It's not like we have trust issue, but I mean, it is what is expected. So if we have done the right thing, exporting will be easier. It's because we are doing a lot of things without documenting. Do we get it? Did I answer the question?
I'm sure you did. Thank you very much, ma'am, for that answer. Before we go to the next question, I have a short announcement. Please, all participants should ensure to drop their attendance because we just have 20 minutes to do that before the end of the class. Thank you. So the next question is from Hassan Latif. He says, how do NAFDAC and SON guidelines apply specifically to small-scale agricultural producers?
NAFDAC and SON.
Yes.
If the small scale is trying to package that, because their scope, like I mentioned earlier, especially their scope is basically around packaging. So if you are trying to sell, say, peanuts, and you want to start packaging, you must get the NAFDAC number to sell. So that is how they apply. Then they would come and they will ask you basic questions, ask you what you do, how you do it, ask for your record, what is the quantity you produce per time, and all of that. I think NAFDAC is even easier to approach, and then SON in bigger tone, and then go to SON. That means I totally believe that if you then start approaching this farm, that means you have prospects, like you have people you are looking at selling to. So you are also increasing too. So it is, I believe, because most of these two certification or these two agency or regulatory body, they are responsible for packaged products, processed products. That is what they certify. So it means you are trying to certify, you are trying to process. Do we get
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Hassan Latif, I'm sure that answers your question. Thank you very much, ma'am, for that. Please, everyone, the link to the attendance has just been dropped. You can go ahead and fill it, please. Thank you. Okay, the next question says, my hybrid chili pepper nursery was recently attacked by caterpillars. Can I use Zephyrs as pesticide? There's a pesticide called Z-Force. They say, can I use it as pesticide?
Okay. First is that it's a seedling. It is a seedling. I totally believe for a seedling to be attacked by caterpillar, it is first a question to the storage. How was it stored? Because if you don't put it on a platform, that means it's easier for them to. So there's something originally wrong with the management. However, I'm not sure I'm familiar with that chemical. So it depends on the active ingredient. It is active ingredient that will determine what you can use. I can say, oh, when you have caterpillar, the ones I've usually heard in this place is caterpillar for sort of. It depends. What matters in all of this brand name is your active ingredients. And the active ingredients that you best use, I would not even, I don't know, it's a seedling. They are still young. They can even incur more injury and then kill your seedlings. So chemical at the stage of seedlings, that is why you have to pay attention to seedlings production because they are mild. It's like a child that you are trying to use strong drug for. Do we understand? Ma, are you with me? Did you get that, ma?
Yes, I'm with you, yes. Okay, so the next question we have here is from Eze Chinwendu. He says, this halal, is it to show nothing linked to the production process came in contact with pigs? Talking about the halal.
Yes, it can actually. It is to show any form of religion taboo that is in Islamic religion. It is to prove that none of the products came in contact with it. Because if they get certified and they have such in their process, you can report it. It should be flagged. Because we are trusting them to say, oh, you have such certification, then we believe that you have been audited to say your certification, your production process does not include anything that can incur risk to us. So it means it does not have pig at all.
Okay, thank you very much, ma. So I'm still checking for more questions, but I'm seeing commendation from the participants. They are happy about the presentation today. Nice presentation. Thanks a lot. This lecture is unique and one of the best foundations for breakthrough in agribusiness. I'm glad that I'm here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wonderful presentation and all of that. Thank you so much, Ma. It's good to have you. So I'm trying to check through for more questions, especially those that came in from our YouTube. Okay, there's a question from Kehinde Idowu. He says, what is the average cost of farm certification?
Okay.
Cost,
When it comes to certification, it depends on the certification body that you are working with. It ranges from say 500,000 to millions. In their millions, whoever you are working with. So it depends on the certification body you are working with. And the list can have like 700, 800, then to millions.
All right, thank you very much. So Usman Abdullah, he says, at what point do products or produce get inspected for certification? At what point?
Okay, so at the point that you are done, like I said, I mentioned something about internal audits. It's a checklist. You would have been given that checklist when you told them that, oh, I want to implement this standard in my organization. They would have given you a checklist. So you would implement those standards. You will conduct an internal audit. Like I said, I said somebody internal will say, oh, let us check. We said we should do this. Are we doing it? Let us check. Have we done this? Have we not done this? If you have checked your internal audits and you are sure that you have complied by everything in your checklist, you will then call for an external audit to be audited.
So Daniel Paul says, are there specific formats or documents for record keeping for the aspect of documentation? Are there specific formats?
Yes, there are specific formats. They are online. Just check. You can check fertilizer record, cleaning log, all these things. We have templates of them everywhere. Go just check cleaning log, what a cleaning log should look like, what a fertilizer record, transplanting record, all those things. You just see templates. They're online.
Okay. So Skiru Tiamiu, sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly. He says we have several regulatory bodies. How can we avoid double or overlapping of functions and impacts on MSMEs?
Please come again. I didn't hear that.
Okay, he's talking about that we have several regulatory bodies. How can we avoid double or overlapping functions and impacts on MSMEs? Maybe going for regulatory bodies have similar things, for instance. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Okay. By the time you start implementing standards, you will understand who to reach out to, at what point to reach out to them, and who to not reach out to. It is looking bogus now because we have not started. The moment you start, that's why training is important. When the training is done, you know the people to work with, you know the specific regulatory body to work with and those not to work with.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So there is a question from Stephen. He says he wants to know why there are many farms produce, but no market for them to sell. Okay.
Well, it's relative. It's very, very relative. It's either there is no market in that particular area, or I don't know, it's relative. If we have a lot of produce, there's another thing called plots. When we have a lot of quantity, but there are not people to take it because there is a massive production of it, and people are not used to having it in that quantity, so they are not coming out to buy it in that quantity. Except for that, it's just keep looking out for market. There is always markets.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. For the sake of our time, I'll just take the last question so we can make progress. Please, if your questions are not being answered, you can reach out to the admins and send your questions via email, and we'll do well to answer them in due time. Thank you. So I'm taking the last question from Daniel Paul. He says, are there bodies too to supervise or oversee or to check the affairs and role of the certifying and regulatory bodies, or how trustworthy are they? Let me take it again. He said, are there bodies to supervise or oversee or check the affairs and role of the certifying and regulatory bodies, or how trustworthy are they? I think that's the question.
Yes, they are. So certifications body that will come, they have a governing body. Like if I am coming to audit your farm, I have people I am responsible to. If I am coming to your farm, it's because I have a certification that proves me to be an auditor. This is my certification. You can report me to the body to say, oh, I didn't do it right. Or I certified an organization that is not doing it right. So there are organizations that can check, that is to checkmate those bodies. Yes, we do. So it's just typical. So if we say we are trying to attain global gap, and I get to audit the organization for global gap, if they are done wrong, if any wrong is perceived in their production process, you report to global gap as the whole body, and then global gap reach out to the organization themselves.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ma, for this interesting session today. But before you go, when the presentation started, we didn't have your information to talk a little bit about you. So if you can just take 2 minutes to tell us again what you do and the organization you represent, just for the sake of the participants. Thank you, Ma.
Okay, so my name is Deborah Olayiwola. I'm a farmer and a food safety enthusiast. As you can see, I'm a training facilitator at Pepsi Place Limited, popularly known as Soilless Farm Lab.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. It's good to have you. We appreciate you. Please, all participants, can you just react by clapping or sending a heart to encourage our facilitator? We really appreciate and enjoy this session. Thank you so much, Ma. So at this point, I'll be inviting Rena, the director of the GSAI Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative, so he can take us on the next item on our list, which is the announcement and every other session. You're welcome, sir. Mr. Black, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Charity. Thank you so much, everybody. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
All right, interesting. Thank you, everybody, for today's class. We have had a very beautiful class. I want to thank all the students that came out on time, and all the participants that have also been part of the class with all keen attention. Yeah, so I'll just, so that we can meet up with time. It's already 5:30 and our 5:21, and our class is supposed to end by 5:30. So I'll just go straight into the announcements. First and foremost, I've seen some questions here. Okay, so please, this class, because of time, we will not be taking questions by people talking. We will only take questions by chat box so that we can quickly run through it. There are some people, if you give them time to talk, they may take the whole time. So we will just, everybody type your questions in the, so whether in this class or in the next class, please, your questions should be typed out in the chat box, whether you're on YouTube or you are in Zoom. Also, for the attendance, I noticed some people said that the attendance is not, they're not able to click the link on YouTube. We have dropped the attendance for another 10 minutes in the WhatsApp group. Go to your group 1 or group 2. We've dropped the attendance there. You can pick out the attendance and fill your attendance. Some people are also coming to ask for assigned code. Please, if you just joined the group today, you cannot get an assigned code. You will have to fill a master sheet form, which is an information you will get later. Those that have been in the group for long, or everybody has an assigned code, and those are the ones that will be able to fill the attendance. That's unfortunate. So please, in the course of the class, in the course of the week, you will fill your master sheet and get your assigned code. For the material that the facilitator used to train, that will also be shared in the WhatsApp group. That will also be shared in the WhatsApp group for you all to get. So just hold on. And then those of you that your questions have not been read, all your questions will be copied, shared with the facilitator. She will respond via chat and we will drop them in the WhatsApp group. So please, moderator and technical support, please look out all the questions that have not been answered. And please pick those questions. We'll drop it with the facilitator. Also, please, technical assistants, please reach out to Suleiman, the community manager. Let him know that there is complaint about the attendance sheet so that we can handle that. That being said, I want to really especially thank the facilitator for today. She has done justice to her topic. Today was class 2. Class 3, like I told you, our classes hold every Tuesdays and every Saturdays. So today is Saturday. The next class will be next Tuesday by 4 p.m. And the facilitator is excited, is on standby to continue the course. As we continue, you will get to know the topic. You will get to know the facilitator. It's going to be a really, really interesting one. And I also want to re-echo here, this is a very, very, very free training. The training is free. The slides are going to be shared for you in the WhatsApp group. And you're free to practice, like she has mentioned, get the knowledge, practice it, and then you begin to see how you can get yourself into a higher level of productivity as a farmer. However, if you would need the certification from this training, which, like she has also mentioned, you have to show evidence that you've been trained. So if you need the certification, you can pay for a discounted price of 5,000 Naira between now and the end of the training, which is 27th of next month. If you pay within this time frame, you can get your certificate. Some people make payment and then come to my DM. Some people make payment and come to my DM to send their payment receipts. That will not be recognized. there is a link for you to request for certificates, and that is where you are to upload your payment receipt. So please DM one of the admins and say, please, I need to request for certificate. I have paid. I need to request for certificate. And then you go and fill that form. Please, if you send your payment slip to anybody, you will not be attended to. We will only attend to those that we have been able to verify. And yes, we also noticed about over 100 persons have paid for certificates. And while we were doing the verification, about 4 people sent in, I don't want to say fake, 4 people sent in wrong screenshots. And unfortunately, even their names, we could not find them in our account statement. So please be careful. You know, it's a thing of money. It's a thing that concerns finances, and we all need to be careful so that we do not get to accuse one another of any malfeasance. So please, if you've made your payment to the prescribed account, do not pay to any personal account. Pay to the prescribed account, and then you get to fill the master sheet. Also, we have the Get DP that you can also use to announce that you are part of this class. And please, if you have done that, you can share your Get DP image to us. We would like to post it on our social media too. So while sharing it to us, that's pick the community managers. They will bring up that announcement. Just share your not your picture, the Get DP image you have generated. Share with us. We would like to share maybe about 50, 60 people that have been part of the class. We would like to put that on. What other announcements did we have? All right, I think for now that will be all. You will get further announcements in the WhatsApp group. I see questions keep coming. Please, I hope these questions have been copied. We are going to drop them with the facilitator and get responses to these questions. Thank you so much, everybody. See you in the next class on Tuesday. And keep improving on your agricultural practices. And then please, all these people that are typing their names and their codes on the WhatsApp chat, there is no need. We've not requested for that. If you put it there and you do not fill the attendance sheet, you will not be seen to have been part of this class. And you remember, even if you pay for certificate and have not attended 50% of the classes, that is minimum of 8 classes, then you will not be eligible for certificate. So please fill the attendance sheet and not writing your name in the chat box. That is all. And then please, you people should read the WhatsApp group. Messages are dropped in the WhatsApp group. People will still come in the DM and still ask questions that have already been handled. So, and people are still raising their hand, even when we've mentioned that we will not take raised hands. We will not take raised hands. People are still raising their hands, but that is fine. I think the numbers are dropping. So please, let's just take a group photograph. Please put on your videos. Please put on your videos, send your Get DP to any admin. Yes, please send your Get DP to any admin. Put on your videos. Mr. Gabriel, are you there to take the video, to take the picture?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, please put on your videos, everybody. Let's have a picture that you were part of this class. It is for our media. It is for our reporting. Reporting is very key.
That was done.
You've done that?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. Okay. So thank you, everybody. See you in the WhatsApp group and see you in the next class. Cheers. Oh, we made it to, this is 5:29. We didn't go beyond time. So yeah, admin, please, you can, maybe in the next 10 minutes, you post the meeting for everyone.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone. And we hope to see you all in the next class.
Please, this person sharing a file, what is he sharing?